Be open to feedback. Good and bad. Melanie,
Yes, sir.
be open to feedback. Tatiana. Do not accept what you do not desire.
Oh, you got to speak on that one.
You know, that's, I'm not sure I can speak on that one. I'll let somebody else speak on that one. Who else wants to speak on that one?
Oh, I have one for that.
Great.
If someone gives you a lousy lead, I mean, you want to be grateful to them for giving you this. I don't know if this is right, by the way. You want to be grateful to them for giving you the lead, but I mean, if you just think, I definitely know this is going nowhere, and I don't want to waste my time on it, so I'd like to decline the lead. Something like that, maybe.
Pass it off.
Yeah, or,
Sure,
or
I
I
agree
could
with
give
that.
this to somebody else, or
You can talk to Mr. AOL about how I feel about declining leads.
Mr. AOL.
Abundance of leads, Josh Konoff. She would have no way to know that.
Right.
Working.
There are sometimes you have to say bye-bye now to clients or delete them from your database, and that's true. And, you know, I think it's a matter of looking for what you're looking for in this universe and not turning down leads, but kind of maybe not going into, like if somebody says to you, hey, I got this great opportunity to grow ostriches in Maine or whatever. You know, if you don't desire to be an ostrich farmer, then I wouldn't go in that direction.
Oh, okay.
But part of that, I want you to kind of think of the opposite, is what you desire, is go after what you
Yes.
desire. And think about what you want. Like what is your prototypical client? So your business has a growth cycle. And at this point in your business, although you're having a fantastic year, Sandra, John and I and Scott are very proud of you for the year you're having.
Oh,
You're
thanks.
not mature enough in your business to turn down leads, because you don't really know at this point what are going to be good and bad, and I want you to focus on relationships. I take every lead and treat it like an orange and squeeze the heck out of it until I get every single juice out of it. Because you never know when it's going to come to you as a referral or a relationship or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure I can fully explain that one, but we're going to figure it out. Don't worry about what you can't control. That's big for me. I worry about everything. Some things you can't control. And that's why I want to have you do goals. And Josh, Brett, and I have had spirited conversations, and of course he's wrong, about this. Naturally he's right. You can't control, and Al Lavender's, he's the opposite of me on this too, is you can't control certain things. If deals fall apart, sometimes that's beyond your control, which is why I want you to focus on written deals, in terms of doing more written deals, because that's stuff you can control. And so, you know, Josh doesn't like to talk about it until he's actually closed a deal. I want him to celebrate every time he writes a deal. Because that's what you can control. You're gonna, like my goal is 70 written deals this year. I know some of them aren't gonna pan out or close, but I know that I can control that. Does that make sense? Completely focus on your definite major purpose. The cure for feeling sorry about yourself is service, helping others. Emulate those you admire. Cultivate the tone of your voice. That's part of being positive. Understand that when you talk to people, your tone gives a lot of, vibes, positive and negative. And that's why email is very difficult, because email can't convey tone. I mean, how many times you read an email and you kind of thought somebody was really pissed off and they weren't? That's important. So what I do in email is whenever I write an email, I stop, go back, read it again, and then add some sort of greeting at the top. I mean, as you know, I'm pretty direct, but I'll go back and say, hey, good morning, good afternoon, hope you're well. And I try to use exclamation points to show, like if somebody sends me a note and say, hey, I just did this, and I just write great, well, that's sort of a blah. But if I write great with an exclamation point, I think that conveys positive energy. This is something I do. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
Whew.
Napoleon Hill in his book talks about the story of his son who was born without any mechanicals to hear. Wherever the stuff in your ear that allows you to hear, he had none of it. But he was not going to take that. And so and it's a fascinating story of he believed that his son was going to hear. And over 20 years, his son eventually was able to hear through the vibrations in the
Yeah.
skull, whatever. And that's about just, believing with that you can be great, you can do things. And that goes back to what your vision is. And if your vision, and that's why we talk about your business being a higher calling, but this is what you're here to do, then let's do it the best you can. And so when you need to push yourself, like if you believe you can write 10 deals, you have to believe it. But then you have to actually act on it. Does that make sense? All right. And the last page has some great quotes from all the different speakers that came to Mastermind that I thought I would share with you. And I want to point out a couple. On the second page, one says unknown. The sign on the door of opportunity reads push. And that means the front door of the office. Push it open and be here. And there, there are a lot of people and trainers in real estate that think that you shouldn't be in the office, you should be wherever you are. I don't believe that. I think you gotta be there. I think the energy in the office, the being on the sales floor, the sharing of ideas, surrounding yourself with successful people, that's what's important. Isolation is one of the key things that causes people's demise professionally. And isolation can make something that maybe isn't so bad feel awful. But if you're here in the office and with the energy and the vibe, both our offices are pretty hopping on a daily basis, except for 8:30. All right.
I have sell those in at 8 o'clock this morning,
Awesome.
if not sooner anyway.
Have fun.
Never treat time like you have an unlimited supply. And I'll give you one more nugget, is treat everybody as if it is their last day on earth.
Oh.
Questions, comments? How can we be of help?
No, it was good. I'm glad you reminded me about my goals because I have to organize them. I've been meaning to do it and it went on the back burner, and it's really important. So that was what I got.
Why don't you guys all take a few minutes and in the back of the workbook, just come up with 3 goals for the next 10 days, what you want to do.
10 days.
What?
10 days?
Next 10 days, 3 goals. Personal, business, financial. So one of your goals can be organizing your goals. In terms of what your goals are. Pick 3. Chuck, eat 30 lobsters.
Okay.
Man, Cape lobsters are lousy. Maine lobsters are where it's at.
Oh,
God, I'm not a lobster in ages, you just reminded me.
put it on there.
Not a bad idea.
George, okay, this is good. When's that deal closing for the doctors?
Probably the 26th.
When that thing closes, you go buy yourself a lobster.
I gotta wait.
Get me
Yeah.
one. Get me one too, George. While you're at.
Yeah,
You
let's
go in
go.
Arizona, you'd be lucky if they have anything that has in water there.
I'll be in Arizona, but there's plenty of fresh cactus and sand.
And the guy who figured out how to extract the cactus meat and juice from a cactus is a gazillionaire today. Because he had an idea and he acted on it.
Wait. Cactus juice?
There is agave, wherever it is.
Agave?
I got it.
Yeah.
Know what they make tequila?
That's cactus juice?
Yeah, of one particular cactus.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's inevitable.
Caitlin, did you fly over Arizona on the way to or from Vegas?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you went from here, you did.
3 goals. You can have more. Baby steps, next 10 days.
Thinking.
Anybody want to share some goals?
I'll tell you what I put down. To call all the leads that I have and get meetings with them. Contact or write notes to older clients, which I've been dying to do, and I haven't done that. And then start writing notes again on a regular basis. I've got notes up to the yin-yang of this, you know, we were talking about
Yeah,
that
I got
last
the
week.
same thing.
I started out on a house on fire, writing notes all the time, and I just sort of went, you know, like, how many notes can I send to these people?
Can you
know?
write 3 today?
Well, I mean, that's not a problem, you know, I'm sure.
But now it's about what, I'm sorry. Like if it's like you have property in Brookline or you have client or what you
We'll talk
now?
about that offline, Tatiana.
Okay.
So 3 notes today. Are you coming into the office tomorrow?
Yeah, it's not Saturday, I'll be on, yeah.
All right, so here's what you can do. You can write 3 notes today. Then before you leave for the day, I want you to take 3 envelopes and leave them prominently on your desk. When you come in tomorrow, don't do anything else until you write those 3 notes.
That's a good idea.
Keyboard, up to them. Just 3 a day. You know, it's like the cheese principle. You know, you look at this whole thing of cheese, and oh my God, how am I going to get the whole cheese done? Just poke a hole at a time. So 3 nights a day. 3
Well,
nights a
how
day.
often do you send notes to the same people? You know what I'm saying? Is there a regular, you know, it's not a matter of just, well, I bumped into somebody on the street or I happened to speak to somebody, but, you know, there's more to it. I mean, there's an awful lot of those notes
Yeah.
around, and I'm just saying that at first I was sending them regularly, and then I almost ran out of things to say, you know.
So
So I
here's what I
stopped.
do.
Slow
So
down.
when I have a closing, I'll have closing notes prepared.
Yeah.
All the attorneys, all the agents, and that's 5. And so if I'm
Oh,
going
you
to
do?
closing a week,
Everybody involved?
that's 5 or 6 notes a week, right there. When I go to a mastermind or event like that, I come back with 30 or 40 cards. That's 30 or 40 notes. When I bump into people, I try to remember them and then have the envelopes made for me and write those notes. A clients, like my A+ clients, I'll try to write them a note once a month.
Yeah, touch your base with a lot more people, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So certainly because of my activity level, I've got a lot more note opportunities. But for you, anybody you run into, or maybe you haven't thought, maybe some clients who closed in April. Hey, just send you a quick note, want to see everything's going on with the house. You know? Or guy cut your hair, whatever. Great goals, Ted. Fantastic goals. Let's just knock those off in 10 days. So in 10 days, when I see you, when I come back, you should have written 25 notes. And that seems like a lot, but if you do 3 notes a day, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, well, it's hard by the yard, but it's inch by the inch. Anybody else want to share some goals?
Okay.
Sildra.
Okay, so I have organized my goals and keep better track of them.
What do you
Right?
mean?
Well,
How many
It's like
goals
the
do you have?
Mobius strip of
well, my goal of
goals.
how many transactions, is- I was talking to Chuck about it yesterday, and it's really out of date, and it's not really
Current.
accurate at all. So I just wanna figure out exactly how many I did, and then see how I'm doing on the goal.
Fantastic.
And then the same thing as Ted, catch up on all my Buffini stuff, because I have several boxes of things under my desk that could be utilized,
And
that are
the
just there.
first of which is organizing your goals.
Yes.
Have you sent your mailer out every month?
Well, I'm probably 2 months behind on the boxes.
All right, so one of your goals the next 10 days should be send your mailer out.
Yes, so that's that. And then this
Can you
week,
write that more specifically?
send out the mailers.
Send out the mailer. 1 mailer. Period.
Okay.
That should be goal number 2.
That is, yep. That's
But you get the mailer out before I get back on vacation, that's a big win for you.
okay.
If you just do those 2 things, get your goal number accurate and send out the mailer, you'll have won the 10 days. What else you have? Let's see if we can get further.
Well, this is just a personal one with my children because school is coming up, so I just will get them organized for back to school before the day before back to school. Like the uniforms, you know, I'm always like a chicken with my head cut off. Oh, I forgot to order the uniforms, and everybody's in a frenzy, so.
I got an idea for you. This is one idea that's going to wrap all your goals into one. Here's what you can do this weekend. You're going to bring your mailer home, and you and the kids together are going to write the envelopes, stuff the letters, fold them up, and help get them off. And when you finish that, you can then do whatever that you're going to give them an hour of whatever they want, and then you're going to go instantly